I always wondered why so many accounts of UFOs included descriptions of lights on the outside of the crafts. What is the reason for lights on the outside of the UFOs? Some intergalactic transport regulation? Just a nice light show for us beleaguered Earth icons. Has to have some significance. Some reason must exist for them. If we hypothesize that some UFOs are extraterrestrial vehicles, ETVs, I will give you my thoughts. It seems very unlikely that ETVs need lights to avoid collisions with aeroplanes, or balloons, or drones. They can maneuver extremely fast and react in a split second, so they can avoid collisions, no matter if pilots see them or not. My gut feeling is that they want to be seen. But I doubt that the reality of it is that simple. One of the non sequiturs with the UFO issue is that the discussion always ends up sounding like the script of a bad science fiction film. Why don't the aliens just land on the White House lawn and announce themselves? Because, we are told, they are watching us and taking data. They want to keep their presence hidden so that it doesn't affect our evolution. There is more, but you get the idea. The problem, of course, is that any civilization with technology capable of spanning light years ought to be able to hide well enough to avoid detection from hairy apes with jet planes whose major pastime is shooting each other in the face. Lights in the sky has been at the root of many UFO sightings. But why would alien spacecraft need lights? If they were really planning interstellar black ops, then they should paint their spacecraft black and turn off the damn lights. Yes, of course, it might be their engines, but a species crossing trillions of kilometers of empty space is not going to be using rockets. Hopefully, they have some other kind of hyperdrive or something cool. If so, they should be smart enough to stealth its exhaust. Does hyperdrive have an exhaust? Remember the principle that when one observes an experiment, one changes the experiment's outcome, observer effect. I cannot imagine that an observing intelligence would allow itself to be observed. While people may chortle at this reference, the prime directive, from Star Trek, is a reasonable value for an ethical intelligence to adopt in the course of exploration. Why do UFOs need running lights? It makes little sense to me, but in no particular order the reasons could be. 1. The result of their form of propulsion, either direct or indirect interaction with the environment. Lights on UFOs might well be a byproduct of an energy source rather than lights to see with. 2. An identifying signature, akin to a call sign or tracker beacon. Each ship may have a different configuration of lights that identify it. 3. A status display, akin to the flags naval ships use to indicate purpose or current activity. The alien equivalent of the DEFCON rating scale. 4. Optical displacement, to hide their real physical position. Their version of holography or chaff. 5. Deliberate attempt to be visible, especially if they have no radar signature. 6. Cool lighting, akin to Pimp My Ride. Maybe it's 420 in outer space too. 7. Perhaps the light emitted by the ships are not in a spectrum visible to them. So it goes unnoticed. Would the putative aliens bother to hide frequencies they themselves couldn't perceive? How would they measure what we can or cannot see? How would they develop the masking technology, once they were here and discovered what our range of visible light is? Out of the entire electromagnetic spectrum, we can only see 350 to 700 nanometers light. Considering the range of the electromagnetic spectrum, isn't it more likely that the running light of the UFO would be completely invisible to us? Or perhaps, their invisible navigation technology produces light that's actually visible to us? The probability of that seems low due to the range of the EMS. 8. Mood, if the craft were living creatures, an indicator of their state of mind as it were. Mood lighting. 9. Lights on UFOs might be for communication. Perhaps subtle color changes in colors are how they communicate, rather like cuttlefish seem to use color to communicate. The alien version of chromatophores. If I wanted to travel incognito at night in our airspace, I would simply rearrange my lights to mirror the standard of all aircraft, e.g. red and green wing position flashes etc. Hiding in plain sight. Carl Sagan does a thoughtful and thorough job of explaining major problems with beliefs in alien visitation and abduction in the first half of his book Demon Haunted World, Science as a Candle in the Dark. I would highly recommend it to be in any serious researcher's library. Please let me know what you think. Why UFOs need running lights? No one knows, so a healthy discussion will be advantageous. Leave a comment, have your opinion heard.